Hey everyone, this is Lisa from Life in Layouts, and today I pulled out the 6x6 paper pad sketch from Scrapbook Generation. I'm going to be using sketch number 5. I also pulled out these really old collections from Simple Stories, the Daily Grind, and 24/7. I only have a few sheets of the 12x12 paper and mainly the pocket packs. I'm not exactly sure what they were called, but they have 4x4, 4x6s, 2x2s, and 3x4s in the pack. My thought was that I could use the 6x6 paper pad class to use up some of these smaller pocket cards. I first started out with a bunch of 2x2s because this collection has a ton of them, and I moved them around quite a bit. I do like the fact that there are all kinds of different patterns, but once I got them all down, it did feel like it was a little too much because all of these photos are going to be screenshots. So I decided that I needed to have some bigger pieces. So I first pulled out the 3x4 cards. I added one to the top, one to the bottom, and one in the center. But I really wasn't liking that either. I tried out several different cards. I still felt like they were getting a little lost. It was just too much pattern going on. So then I went to the 4x6 size, and that's when this layout finally started to come together. I've had this collection for a very long time. It's one of those collections that I don't know necessarily what to do with it because it is a pocket collection. I originally purchased it because I was going to do a mini album of just those like random one-off photos, but I don't know, 2 or 3 layouts in, I hated it so much that I just never went back to it. So I finally have the larger cards down that I'm going to use on the left-hand side. I really like that wood grain with the red heart, that tealish card that says "This Life Lived and Documented," and then the polka dotted card down at the bottom that says "Enjoy the Everyday Small Stuff." Now these photos are screenshots, so it may look kind of weird, but I definitely wanted to document this milestone in my content creating journey. If you follow my channel, you know that I took a pretty large break back in like 2022 and 2023. In January of 2024, I knew that I had to get back into my scrapbook room. It was my passion, and I had neglected it for so long. And when I got back into my room, I went hard. I spent New Year's Day actually scrapbooking. I didn't film that one, and I think I just did like a Scrapbook Generation kit. So there wasn't a whole lot of designing to it. It was already pretty much done for you. It's one of those that you just kind of follow the instructions, cut the paper down, and stick your photos on the layout itself. But it renewed my energy and got me in the mindset that I wanted to rebuild my channel. As a content creator, I am part of the partner program, meaning that I do get paid for the ads. It's very, very minimal. It's nowhere near what like big content creators create. It really just gives me the benefit of purchasing a collection here or there. Like it doesn't even pay for all of the scrapbooking that I purchase myself, but it's nice to have. And I think I've mentioned this before. My channel is an extension of my scrapbooking. While I do tend to put a lot of journaling on my layouts, it's nowhere near the amount of journaling, and I'm putting that in quotations, that I get in my videos because I talk more about what's going on. So while it's great that I'm part of the partner program and I would love to be able to quit my day job and actually do this full time, it's not going to happen anytime soon. But this layout is specifically about getting back into the partner program. So when I took that time off, I was no longer eligible for the partner program because you have to have like so many watch hours, so many subscribers. There's a couple different requirements, and I wasn't getting the watch hours that I needed, obviously, because I wasn't creating content. When I started back in January of 2024, I went all out. I posted in a ton of different Facebook groups. I posted on Instagram. I tried to get my name back out there to say, hey, I am back. I am creating. Please come and watch my channel again. And you guys showed up for me. It took about 5 months for me to get back to where I needed to be for YouTube to accept me back into the partner program. When I did, it was such an amazing feeling. Also, around that time in the Scrapbook Addicts group, someone had asked a question, what is your favorite scrapbook layout YouTuber and why? And somebody recommended me, which caused me to get 53 subscribers in one day, putting me at 2,500 subscribers. It was just an amazing month for me, and I knew that I had to document that information on a layout. So that's what this is about. I think these two collections are perfect for this layout. One of them is called Daily Grind and one of them is called 24/7. And for my YouTube channel to succeed, it is a daily grind. If you guys are in my Facebook group, you guys know that I post almost daily in there showing you what I'm working on. I really do scrapbook probably 5 days a week. I clock out of my 9-to-5 job. I usually do some things around the house, cooking Eli dinner, having dinner with him, doing any type of chores that I need to do. And then I'm usually in my room by 8 p.m. and I'm in here for a couple of hours every single night. So it is a daily grind. And I think that with TikTok and becoming viral through TikTok, there are a lot of people who think that it's easy to be a content creator and it doesn't take work and it's just something that's going to happen. And I can tell you that that is not true at all. Well, yeah, it would be fabulous for me to go viral and to have a video that just is amazing and everybody loves and I have a ton of subscribers for it. It doesn't really happen that way. And it does take a lot of work to actually produce all of these layouts. I feel like I just went on a huge tangent for this layout. All I want to really say is that when I was doing my month in review for May of 2024, I found these screenshots that I had taken and I knew that I had to do a layout about it. And so I wanted to make sure that the layout had all the things that I love. I did a lot of stitching on this layout. I really enjoy the smaller 2x2 cards and I added those several places on the layout. I do have a couple of 12x12 sheets of paper, so I was able to pull out the striped strip. You guys know that I love me a 1/4 inch strip, even though I can't cut it straight. And so I made sure to add that on either side. And I really like the blocks of photos as well as cards in the center. And then I have that kind of khaki paper on the edges. It just ties everything into the center, brings everything into your eye, and I really enjoy the way that this layout turned out. My title is going to be Love This Moment, and I did have some foam thickers that I had the word moment, so I put that down. I also pulled out these tiny types from Cosmo Cricut in like a navy color, and I put it on the foam strips from scrapbook.com, and then I lost it. You can see here that I'm trying to find it. I ended up being in one of my little pink buckets. It's crazy how it ended up there. I do have 3 dies that spell out the word love, and I knew that I wanted to use Nicole's sticker technique with it, but I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use. I really like this love with the heart on it, but it just wasn't vibing well with the word moment. I also liked this love where the heart is the O, but it also just felt awkward with the moment. So I did end up using this love that has the hearts in a couple of different places. I was then trying to decide what color I wanted to make the top layer. So for Nicole's Dicker technique, and I'll link her video below if you'd like to check it out, you use 2 pieces of white cardstock and then you use a piece of pattern paper. I looked through the 12x12 pattern and I couldn't find anything. I did end up finding this 3x4 card that the word love just barely fit on it. So I cut out an additional white cardstock, and then I'm going to cut out the word love in the yellow cardstock as well. So let me know in the comments below. Do you guys have like a really old collection that you purchased for a specific thing and then it didn't work out for you? And what have you done with that collection? This is one of those collections that I loved so much back when Simple Stories was doing this type of collections, where you got tons of 2x2 cards. The pattern paper was all divided up. Say Cheese was another one, like the original Say Cheese, where you would get like 6x12 pattern paper that was like kind of pre-printed, and then you could add a bunch of embellishments. It made scrapbooking a lot easier because you were able to kind of piece the pattern paper together and made some gorgeous layouts with it. I really wish that Simple Stories would do like a retro collection where they bring back some of these pieces. I can't be the only person who loves these types of collections. So let me know in the comments below, what collection do you guys have that you've kind of hung on to because you're not sure what to do with it because you had an original plan, but then it didn't end up working out for you. So now I've got my title down, and I did add a darker wood grain with the 3 little hearts next to my title. I know that that darker wood grain doesn't match the light wood grain that's on that 4x4 card, but I feel like it all works together really well. Over on the left-hand side, I did feel like I needed to bring that darker wood grain over. I added the viewfinder that had a bunch of little colors on it. I just love that it brings all of the colors together. And then I really liked that currently card. I decided to do something a little bit different. Some of the letters I did the inside of them, and some of the letters I did right around the outside. And I love the way that that stitching turned out on that particular 4x6 card. On top of the viewfinder, I added a little heart. I did put that up on Fun Foam, and right next to it, I do end up adding a polka dotted heart, and I also put that up on Fun Foam. At this point, I had gone off camera and pulled out my color binders in red, blue, and yellow, just trying to beef up this collection because this collection did have a lot of cards, but not really a lot of embellishments because it was designed to be a 6x8, or at least the pieces that I had purchased was designed to be in a 6x8 album. So it was more about that pocket style. But I was able to find quite a few different pieces that worked. I had this stack of books that I added over to the far right-hand side, and I felt like that kind of played into like my scrapbook albums. I also added an arrow that says smile, as well as a little tag that says make art, and a little pink floral. Up on the 2x2 card at the top, I added a little red circle that says heart this, and then I added a brad from the collection that has a little camera on it. I did also stitch on the little arrows that are in that 2x2 card. This collection had the actual brads, like before they were adhesive brads, so I did add a couple of the brads around, of course having to poke some holes in the layout to get those brads down. As you can see, those brads are kind of yellowing a little bit. It doesn't bother me. It is what it is. I feel like this is more about creating as opposed to it lasting forever. So I'm perfectly fine with putting brads in there that have yellowed. Over on the left-hand side in that 2x2 card, it had a little pie chart. It did have a heart on the square itself, and I decided to put another heart on top of it and add some foam adhesive behind it so it sticks up a little bit. And since I had added a brad to the bottom right-hand corner, I decided to go ahead and add a brad to my title cluster in the upper left-hand side. And then that 4x6 card is kind of busy with all the polka dots, but I did decide to build up that little speech bubble a little bit. I added a brad that says daily grind, as well as a little circle that looks kind of like a cork board and has a push pin on it, and a little tiny pink heart. I then pulled out my enamel dots that I purchased from Peachy Cheap. That's a great place to look for scrapbooking supplies that are pretty reasonable. They have a daily deal, and this one was for just some random enamel dots, which I knew I had a ton of Simple Stories, and their colors all tend to work well together, so I just pulled out some of those to add to my layout. And then while I was doing my stitching, I was also eating pizza, and I realized that I had some pizza sauce on my layout. But again, I'm just going to go with it. And then that is it for this video. Here is my final layout as well as some close-ups. I did do my journaling offline, and I actually posted this in my Facebook group because there was so much journaling. I end up having journaling on both sides of my layout. On the left-hand side of the layout, it says, I took a break from YouTube when Eli moved in with me. During that time, my channel lost its standing in the Partners program because I wasn't hitting the watch hour requirements. When I came back in January of 2024, I jumped in with fresh energy, putting all of my effort into promoting my channel and connecting with new viewers. It wasn't easy, and some days felt slow, but I kept at it. And then on the right-hand side of the layout, it says, then in May, things turned around. I was accepted back into the Partners program, which felt like a big win. Around the same time, someone recommended my channel in a Facebook group, leading to an amazing boost of 53 new subscribers in just one day. That push helped me reach a total of 2,500 subscribers, a milestone that reminded me of my passion for creating, even when the road gets bumpy. I genuinely love creating content and am so glad that my channel keeps growing. All right, if you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you want to see more double page layout inspiration, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope that you have a scrappy day.